Dear friends, hello. My name is Marvin Gaye, and I'm here first to introduce you to $1 One Africa. It's a bit late in the afternoon today, and it's extremely late in our world struggles to reunite and rebuild an economy that we can call our own. What is $1 One Africa, you may ask? It's group economics at work. It's the law of large numbers. It's the answer to the question that I've heard from many of the people with whom I've had conversations concerning our problems. And boy, do we have many. We can't solve them all overnight, but we can get started in a way that makes sense and is different. Different in the sense that we give unity a 1 in 100 million chance. Allowing ourselves to be divided, allowing our dividers to convince us that we are better than our brothers or sisters, or that they are better than we are, and that's what's gotten us where we are today. At the bottom of the socio-economic totem pole throughout the world. Every other ethnic group has been served at the benefit distribution table except us. Why? Because they plan as a unit. They work together as a unit. They build together for their group. And Italians are not ashamed of being identified with Italian heritage. Asians don't have a problem being identified and represented as Asians. But now a Chinaman or a Korean will quickly identify more directly with their native land, China or Korea. We African descendants are the only ethnicity who works hard at relating to everyone else's culture but our own. And what do we have to show for it as a community? By history's clock, it's much later in the day than most of us realize. Let's focus on a better way of taking care of our business. Let's utilize $1 per week to pull ourselves up by our collective bootstraps by making use of the science of large numbers with little to no pain on any one individual. Think of it as a lottery or a scratch ticket, but one where the African community and all of us who identify with it joins hands to build an economic bridge that connects us wherever we are. Now, food and the nutrition that comes from it is vital to our existence. Without it, we will die. We take it for granted, but the source of our food is controlled by a system that looks down upon the majority of us. We are dependent on those who care the least about our good health for the foods that we consume. Is it any wonder that we stand in long lines and fight each other over that infamous $4 Popeyes chicken sandwich? Do we do any more than complain about paying $3 to $4 per gallon of gasoline when most of us need at least 10 gallons or more in our vehicles? How focused are we on the problems we create for ourselves when we think nothing of paying $50 to $295 on tickets to watch any one of the latest performing artists? Our incomes that fuel our families are, for the most part, federal and municipal government jobs, but mostly private industry jobs that are owned by those outside of our community. Our houses, the places where we live, are predominantly constructed, owned, and managed by those outside of our community. As a matter of fact, there are very few communities that can be called our own. Within the few communities that where we do comprise a majority, we don't own the businesses that take our money out of the community. As an aside here, I'm happy to say that I pay my rent to a brother and his wife who owns my apartment complex. I'm happy to say that I bank my money, what few pennies I have, with a black owned bank, the largest in America. Now, a source of investment income for our communities on or off the continent of Africa continues to be a problem. So we believe. Why? Because most of us think of our individual families in a vacuum. We don't think in terms of a larger community, a state, or a nation. We are 1.5 billion strong Africans and African descendants throughout the continent and the diaspora. Many of us may not understand the concept of group economics, or as children and maybe as indigents, we might not be able to afford $1 a week. This economic plan assumes, and it is an economic plan, it assumes that 1.4 billion of us are going to fall off on the wayside, are going to fall into a vast and woeful area that I call demolition experts. Some people refer to them as no way naysayers or daily doubters. There will be a lot of infants and physically challenged persons who depend on people like you and I to make good choices for them. The majority of these demolition experts are dead weight dividers. Yes, I said it. Dead weight dividers. They have served us with racism on autopilot for far too long. You know, so many of them, are just so heavenly bound that they're no earthly good. If you know one of these demolition experts from any of these categories, would you please insist that they now remove their knee from our neck and step aside, because we have work to do. $1, one Africa. What does it mean to you? What can it mean to you? This concept is a work in progress, and it needs $1 to get started and keep it going. For those of you who know me personally, you know that my character, including my name, my reputation, my trustworthiness, my honor, and my ability to get things done and done in a proper fashion. I never defraud anyone out of 1 red cent. A major component to be put in place is a black-owned financial repository. And we need to partner with them and maybe get a partner. We definitely want a like-minded partner on the continent of Africa, a financial institution owned by Africans. And between the two, we want to run this program to upgrade our community, our homeland, our urban neighborhoods. We have needs all over the world wherever we are at the bottom. We have got to do something to get us up out of the cellar. Nobody's coming to rescue us. Please understand that. Nobody's coming. They're just standing by, letting us die off, however we die off, food poisoning, bullets to each other because we've been influenced by whatever to turn against ourselves. We've got to do it if it's going to get done. And if we don't do it, we're done. I want you to please visit our website, $1, $1, There you'll have more, greater details than what I've given you here. I am just trying to motivate you to take a look at something that will work if we work it. And we can do it. I know that the people that I need to help make this happen are out there. I need to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time, and do have a good night.